Hi, I'm Donna. Today's gentle class is for nurturing your center, your wellspring, your hips. And you might need a couple of blankets. They're really to support you if you feel a little awkward, even just sitting on the floor like this. It'd be nice to have them under your hips. And you need a strap or a belt. We're going to do a really beautiful posture, but really good help. So grab those things and then we're going to start laying down. Give the weight of your body to the floor. Just let yourself fall onto the floor. Position your feet so they're hip width parallel, legs are parallel, knees bent. Bring your hands onto your belly. And as you breathe, notice the rise and fall of your belly. Its spaciousness as you breathe in. And the feeling of letting go when you breathe out. Let your face be relaxed, your brow, your forehead, your shoulders, and your neck, and your jaw. Tune into the wave-like motion of the breath. Good. And if your eyes were closed, gently opening them. Bring your right leg off the floor, so foot off the floor. And you just want to bring your knee in so it's right over the top of your hip. And you keep your legs parallel. So that's really important. Just watch the knee might want to go out to the side. So we keep nice and parallel. You can gently support, hold onto your knee there or behind your leg. Hold softly with your hands. Good. And just make nice, big, slow circles with your foot. Take notice if there's any parts of the movement that feel awkward, even a little tender. We're going to go all the way around. Let's say we're doing 5 of those. Go in the other direction. 5 in the other direction. And again, just look for any awkwardness or tenderness. Still following the wave-like movement of your breath. Good. So when you've done 5 of those, stop. And this time we're just going to point the toes away and then toes back towards the knee. So it's called plantar flexing and dorsiflexing. Good, but relax your shoulders, your belly, your hips. Again, looking for ease in your movement, maybe tenderness in your movement. Good, and then you can put that foot down. Just settling again. And then second side. So paying real attention to keeping the legs parallel and support with soft hands, relaxed chest. Okay, so nice big circles. Oh, I found a tender spot. It's really treating yourself with compassion and respect. seeing if you can get a little more movement in those tender areas without pushing, inviting openness. Good, other direction. Just noticing if the movement in your ankle has impact anywhere else in your body, like your knee or your hip. Good, and then we stop the rotations and just pointing your toes away from you and pointing them back to you. And it should feel like a really different movement. Sometimes when our ankles feel really stiff, you can hardly tell the difference. Enjoying that plantar flex, dorsiflex. Shoulders relaxed. Great. And then bring your foot back down onto the floor. Just let your arms out. But bring your awareness back into the breath in the belly. Its spaciousness. Your ability to really let go. Enjoy the weight of your body. Good. You're going to bring your right heel onto your left knee. So you want to be right on the front of the knee if you can. You're going to gently let the right knee move away from your torso. And you just listen to your hip here. The other thing you want to do is keep your hips square to the floor. So don't let the knee away and then you're lifting up the left side of the sacrum. So keep the hips really even. So both sides of the spine feel long. We're just letting that knee fall away. Good. Now you're going to take your left knee and your right foot towards the floor on the left side. So a little twist. So letting the lower half of your body fall to the left. And if it doesn't want to reach all the way, that's where a blanket might be handy under your knee. Otherwise, you can even get your right foot right down onto the floor, but keep your right shoulder blade onto the floor and you're facing in that direction. If you breathe deeply, notice that shape that happens across the belly, from the shoulder to the hip. Let the torso relax. Good, and then squeeze your belly, squeeze your pelvic floor to lift your legs up. Good, bring them back so that they're parallel again. Your feet are parallel, your knees don't go out to the side. Good, and left heel onto the top front of your right knee. And then the legs are going to fall towards the floor on the right side. And if it feels too strong for your back, put support in. That's where a blanket is so handy. Good. Otherwise, you might be able to get your foot right down onto the floor with ease. And left shoulder blade stays onto the floor and you face over that direction. Just let the weight of your body be thoroughly supported by the floor. Feel the length from the left shoulder blade to the right hip across the belly. Let the belly be spacious with the breath, the back body really letting go with the exhalation. Good, and then to lift your legs, squeeze your belly, squeeze the pelvic floor. So the front core supports the back core as you lift. Good, and legs back into parallel. Good. You're going to take your hands and just place them softly either side of your sacrum, so under your buttocks. And lift your lower back just a little off the floor, just its normal shape. And squeeze your belly and squeeze the pelvic floor. And just see how you go here, lifting up onto your tiptoes. Maybe your feet can come all the way off the floor. Otherwise, you can just try lifting your heels off the floor. Otherwise, feet can come off the floor. And lift your legs so your knees are still bent, say 10, 15 degrees. And Just start to drop your knees away from your chest, but don't tense up around your heart and your throat. So bring them in where you feel really relaxed. Good. But you're still slightly lifting your lower back, squeezing your belly, squeezing the pelvic floor. All right, we're going to hold the legs so they're parallel. So just watch the hips' tendency to take the knees out to the side. Okay, so parallel, good. And see how you go. You're going to just bend your right knee more thoroughly and touch the toes down to the floor. Good. So if this is a little too strong, remember you can just keep your toes on the floor and lift your heels instead. Okay, but lifting your lower back, squeezing your belly, relaxed in your throat. Good. So just tipping the right toes up and down to the floor. Good. Back to center. Good. And left. So you just bend your left knee more thoroughly. So you tip your left toes down to the floor. Really squeezing your belly, squeezing your pelvic floor, but very relaxed around your throat. So the closer the knees in are to your chest, the easier that feeling is. So the further the knees are from the chest, the more the core has to work. But keep the throat relaxed, keep the chest relaxed. So left knee dipping up and down. Good. And then rest both feet onto the floor. Take your arms out. Press your lower back into the floor. Feel your belly hollow. And then even exaggerate that hollow by squeezing the belly to the back. And then relax that squeezing and let the belly be really spacious. Lift your lower back from the floor. Take a deep breath into that part of your body. Good, and then press your lower back into the floor. Let the belly hollow. Squeeze the belly to the back. Good. And then lift your lower back from the floor. Let the belly hollow. Enjoy a couple of deep breaths. Good. I'm going to take the arms gently overhead, and if you've got room and it feels really nice, you can have them out straight, palms facing. Otherwise, it just might be nice to have them softly bent so your throat is relaxed, your chest is relaxed. You can let your legs out to straight, keep them parallel, and press out through the soles of the feet. Feel the belly stretch. Good, and then we're going to bend the legs in, bring the arms in, and roll gently to your right side. Good, and come into an all fours position on your mat. Arch your spine up to the ceiling, down to the floor in a way that feels nourishing for you. Keep going, finding movement all the way along your spine. Good, and then bring your spine into its natural shape where it feels really long, and you're using your front core strongly to support your back core. Squeeze your belly. Good, we're going to tuck the toes under. Just make sure your fingers have wide, even spaces. Press the fingerprints, press the base of the index fingers. Elbow creases face each other. You're going to lift up between your shoulder blades. It's a strong front core, and lift your knees just off the floor. We're going to hover and keep breathing. Good, and then we're going to lift the knees all the way off the floor and take the hips back. Take the chest towards the front of the legs. Let the head just fall down. Downward facing dog pose. Good. Swing your hips from side to side. Just keep going and paying attention to the breath in the sides of the body. Neck relaxed, throat relaxed. Good. Let yourself come back to center. Press your heels. Let the shoulders feel wide. Space between the collarbones wide. Good. We're going to lower down, not knees all the way to the floor. So we're going to keep them just off the floor. Really squeeze the belly to support the back. Good. Lift up between the shoulder blades. Feel the weight in the fingerprints, the base of the index fingers. Keep breathing. Elbow creases facing. Good. And then gently knees lower to the floor. And resume cat stretch. Arch your spine up and down. Good. And take a moment to rest your hands. I'm going to reach back and hold on to the feet. Reach your torso forward over your legs. Just reach back as far as you can. Let your forehead reach down to the floor. Or if it's a little uncomfortable in your chest, just reach your head forward. Good. And then we're going to come into a kneeling up position. And my floor's hard. I'm going to use a blanket under my knees. You might like to do that too. Good. Legs are parallel. I'm going to take the fingers into the back waist and press your heels of the hands down towards your pelvis. Bring the elbows a little closer so the chest feels wide. Lift really strongly the front of the thighs, the front of the hips. Lengthen the belly, lengthen the chest. Look up. Good. And then release and step your right foot forward. Good. We're going to wiggle the right foot out to the side of the mat and bring your hands forward. And if you have trouble reaching your hands flat onto the floor, you can be right up onto fingertips. Imagine you've got your fingers wrapped around tennis balls. You could always put them up onto a blanket. Good. We're going to squeeze that right knee in against the shoulder. Lift the breastbone. Let the hips start to reach forward. Tailbone reaches forward. Good. And then release. And stepping back as easily as you can. And left foot forward. Keep it light. Good. And we'll bring the hands down. So up onto fingertips if you need to. And we're going to ease the hips forward. Squeeze the left knee in against the left shoulder. Lift the breastbone. Draw the tailbone forward. Noticing each breath into the belly. As you lift the breastbone, draw the shoulder blades back so you don't feel like your shoulders are squashing your ears or making your neck shorter. Good. And then easing up. So coming back up to kneeling up and stepping the left knee back. Keep it light. Good. And preparation for ustrasana again, camel pose, fingers into the back waist. Press the heels of the hands towards the pelvis. Lift and lengthen the front of the thighs. Lift the front of the hips. Lengthen the belly. Lift the breastbone, looking up. Good. And then release. We're going to take the right foot forward again. Good. Letting the hips sink forward. And this time we're going to take the hands up onto the right knee. Lift the breastbone. Good. So if you need more stretch, take the foot a little further forward. Good. So we're trying to let the tailbone move forward. Lengthen the belly, lengthen the front of the left thigh, the front of the left hip. Let the weight of the body do some of the work here. Just let the shoulders be relaxed. So whilst the hips can sink forward into the posture, we want to actively lift the belly, lift the breastbone. Keep the neck long, keep breathing. Good, and if it feels okay, take the arms up by the ears as well, and we're going to look up, draw the shoulder blades down. Good. Bring your hands together in prayer position in front of your heart. See how you go, stepping back to that kneeling up position. Keep it light. Good. And stepping the left foot forward. Keep it light. So reaching forward. Just finding a good foot position. And then we're going to lift the hands up onto the left knee. But let the hips sink forward. Use the weight of the body to help stretch the front of the left thigh, the front of the left hip. Keep the hips level to the floor. Tailbone's reaching forward. And then we're going to actively lift the belly, lift the breastbone. Keep the neck long. And if it feels okay, take the arms up by the ears, palms facing, arms straight. Draw the shoulder blades down, look up. And breathe. Good, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Good, keep it light as you step the left foot back to the kneeling up position. Good, take the hands into the back waist, so fingertips touch the back waist, press the heels of the hands to tip the tailbone forward, lengthen the front of the thighs, lengthen the front of the hips, lift the belly, lift the breastbone, look up. Good, and then release. To come down into child's pose. You can hold on to your feet again if you like that feeling, or just let your hands be relaxed. If it's uncomfortable to take your hips all the way to the heels, your child's pose might look a little more like this with the hands relaxed under the forehead. Good. And then from here, stretch your arms all the way forward. Feel the breath into the shape of the belly here in forward virasana. And with every exhalation, let go of what you don't need, tension in your body. Nourishing the belly with each breath. Good. And then coming up into all fours. Step your right knee to your right wrist. And you're going to scoot your right foot in front of your left hip. And take the left leg straight back. So bringing your hips as close to the floor as your knee allows. So you might need to stay further forward. Good, and again, we're going to come right up onto fingertips as though your hands were pressing around tennis balls. And lift the breastbone, draw the shoulder blades back, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Feel the depth of the breath right down to the belly. Good. If you're really tight in your hips, you're really uncomfortable in this posture, taking a little extra support, so it might be a nice blanket like that, underneath the right sit bone can help the hips feel less awkward, more comfortable, more at ease. So you might need to try that. Otherwise, again, we just let the weight of the body do part of the work here, but we're actively lengthening the spine, the belly, lifting the breastbone, drawing the shoulder blades back. Good. We're going to reach the front torso down onto the floor. Try to keep your hips really level to the floor, so not twisting to one side or the other, keeping either side of the spine equal length. Good. And then walk your hands all the way across to the right side of your mat. So you're going to lift your belly, lift your breastbone, and reach to the outside of the right thigh. Again, feeling the spaciousness of the breath, the letting go of the breath. Good, and then walking your hands all the way forward again. And walking your hands back now, come right up onto fingertips again, lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone, drawing the shoulder blades back. Good. Place your hands flat, tuck your left toes under, so you can ease your left knee a little forward and step your right knee back into cat pose, cat stretch. Good, just arch your spine up, arch your spine down. Good, and then we're going to step the left knee to the left wrist, just so you've got enough room to get your toes in front of your right knee. And then we start to slide the right leg all the way back. We're trying to bring the hips as close to the floor as your hips will allow, your knee feels comfortable with. So you don't want to feel awkward in the posture. Hold on to that feeling that you can keep the sacrum level to the floor, the hips level to the floor. You can put your hands right up onto your fingertips as though they're wrapped around tennis balls. Draw the shoulder blades back, lengthen the back of the neck. Good. And find your way into the posture. The right toes go straight back. Good, and then we're going to start to reach the belly forward, reach the breastbone forward, come down onto your forearms. Or reach the arms all the way out in front. We can keep the sacrum level to the floor, the shoulder blades level to the floor. But soften again across the abdomen. Breathe deeply into that part of your body. Discovering what the sensation is for you. Finding ease where you can. Letting go of tension. Good, and then just lift your forehead so you can reach or walk your hands across to the the left side of your mat. If you lift your belly and lift your breastbone, you're trying to aim center front torso to the outside of the left thigh, just where you're able to move to. Good, and then walking your torso, your hands back to center. Walk them in. Come right up onto fingertips again. So a little back bend, like the belly lengthen here. Draw the shoulder blades back. Finding your breath. Good, and then flatten your hands. If you tuck your right toe, the ones behind you, under, and you can ease the knee forward a little bit, so give yourself a little bit more room to step the left knee back, so you're in cat stretch. Arch your spine up, arch your spine down. Good, tuck the toes under, hover the knees just off the floor. Good, notice how you're using your hands, your arms. Suppress your fingerprints, base of the index fingers, elbow creases facing, lift up between your shoulder blades. You're squeezing the belly, squeezing the pelvic floor. Good, take the knees out a little wider, bring the big toes touching, so knees onto the floor. You're gonna rest your torso into forward virasana. Let the armpits lengthen So you can walk the arms forward a little straighter, but take the shoulder blades back, keep the neck long. Enjoying the sensation and space of each breath. Good, and then inhale and walk your hands back. And we're going to take a seat, and I'm going to use a blanket, hard floor, under my tailbone, but you might have a nice soft floor to practice on. Just put that in the middle of your mat, and you're going to have your legs bent, parallel, feet parallel, and hold on to the front of your knees. Good, and lean your torso back. Okay, so if that's really painful on your tailbone, this is not really a posture for you, but you could sit up really straight onto the front of your sit bones. Okay, so otherwise we're leaning back. Feel your lower back. Let it arch into its natural shape, so that little bit forward. Squeeze your belly, squeeze the pelvic floor, but lean your torso back. And as you breathe, feel wide and relaxed across your chest, spacious around your heart, relaxed in your throat. Good, and this might be enough work for your front core. So you might already feel like you're working hard here, but you're supported and you're able to keep that relaxed feeling around your heart. Good, if you want to go a little stronger, just let go of your hands. So we're really squeezing the belly, squeezing the pelvic floor. Good, and stronger again would be to lean back a little. So don't do it if it hurts your back, just stay in the one that really supports you, supports the strength of your front core. Good, you might even take your feet off the floor. Squeeze pelvic floor, belly. Nice work. And release. If you put your feet back down parallel and reach your arms forward so you can get them right over the front of the legs and lift your lower back. Lift the chest. Let's bring your chin in towards your chest. You might be able to get in really close over your legs. So you might be able to even squeeze your torso in close to your legs. You can walk your hands down further. Just let your chin fall in towards your chest to lengthen your back. Finding your breath in that little world, your own world. Good. And then releasing, and we're going to lay down onto our backs, and this is where you might need the strap, so I'm going to keep that handy. Back into the position we started. Enjoying each breath. Okay. Going to bring your right heel to your left knee again. Just let the right knee fall away from your torso. But again, we want to keep the hips level to the floor. So it shouldn't feel like you're lifting the left sacrum off the floor. Okay, now this might be enough. It could already be a strong movement for you, so that's where you're going to work. Or if you can, bring your heel closer to the front of your left hip. So you might be in a half lotus position with that leg. So don't do this, obviously, if it hurts your knee, feels too strong, just find the position that's right for you. But try to keep your right foot dorsiflexed, so toes point straight back to the right knee. Good. We're going to ease the left toes in and pick that foot up off the floor. And I can reach to hold the front of my knee, but that's where a strap might be useful for you. So if you're having trouble reaching, use your strap. Good. And then see if you can arch your lower back away from the floor a little. Let the belly feel really wide. Breathe deeply. Let the shoulders feel wide. If you're having to reach your head back to the floor and you feel awkward in your neck or shoulders, put a blanket in underneath so you support that easeful posture of your body, even though your legs are doing something that might be awkward. Good. And then if you can, try taking the left leg to straight. And again, a strap could be handy over the foot if you have trouble reaching, or you can hold on to your foot. Good. And I'm still trying to lift the lower back away from the floor, just letting the belly be relaxed here. Try to keep my left leg in line with my left ribs and toes pointing down to the left shoulder. Good, and then release. Back to starting position. Good, and then left heel onto the right knee. So let the left knee start to fall away from the torso, just observing where the resistance is in your hip joint to that movement, but keeping your hips square to the floor. So both sides of your back get to be even length. You feel ease in your back and your belly and your shoulders around your heart. Okay, and if you have that extra movement here, bring your heel closer to the front of your right hip, but try to keep the toes dorsiflexed, so pointing towards the left knee. So it might feel easier to get the heel higher, but then you're overstretching the outside of the ankle. So if you just let the foot be relaxed, you'll end up destabilizing your ankle. So try to keep the foot dorsiflexed. Good, and then see how you go. Just slide in your right toes along the floor, lift your toes off the floor, and take hold of your knee with your hands if you can. Use your strap around the knee if you need to. We're going to lift the lower back just a little away from the floor, just its natural shape. And let your belly be relaxed. Okay, remember, if it feels uncomfortable, you feel awkward in your throat or around your shoulders, just put a little blanket underneath your head and your neck. Keep the chest wide. Enjoy the space of the breath right into the belly. Good. And then see how you go, straightening your right leg. You can use a strap around the ball of the foot if that was a way away from you. Less harder than it looks. Good. So your shoulders can stay relaxed, your neck can stay supported. Good. Still lifting the lower back a little. Relax the belly. Breathe deeply into the belly. Good. And then release. Bring your feet back down to parallel. Your legs bend. Moving a little, rock a little across your sacrum. Just take the knees from side to side. Good, and then coming back to center, finding the natural shape of your back, your neck supported. Great, and you'll need your strap again. We're going to take the legs out to straight. Hug your right knee right in as close as you can to your right ribs, and just notice if you feel you're tensing your belly or tensing in front of your right hip. It's hard to bring the knee in thoroughly because of that tension. So really relaxing there. Belly, right hip. Just let the thigh be nice and heavy. Good. Now you can try and keep your knee as close to your shoulder or your chest as you can, and bring the sole of your foot, the bottom of your foot, parallel to the ceiling. Okay, so your leg is in a deep bend. So it might look a little bit like that. And I can reach my foot, but this is where the strap can be really useful. So you put the strap around the instep of your foot. Good. And then make sure where you hold, you can still put your shoulders relaxed on the floor. So because if your leg is tight and it's lifting your shoulders off the floor, that's going to be really uncomfortable in your neck. So make sure you keep that upper part of your body really relaxed here. So hold with straight arms, and you have your leg where you can thoroughly reach to, so you're feeling the stretch, wherever that might be. Good. Just let the thigh be heavy. Let everything else in the body be relaxed. Great. Now we're going to go from here to straight leg, and you can let the strap out as far as you need to, but really get your legs straight. So the hamstrings won't stretch if the leg is not straight. So really get it straight, and hopefully you've got a nice long strap or belt. You can let it out as far as you need to, but you hold at your full stretch where you feel that limit in your body. And everything else relaxed. Belly relaxed. Feel the spacious breath there. Feel the warmth in the back of your right leg. Letting that warmth lengthen the back of the leg. Maybe you can glean a little more movement, toes moving towards the line of your shoulder. Maybe even overhead. Good. All right, now we're going to take both sides of the strap into the right hand, or hold your foot with your right hand if you don't need the strap. Take your left hand out onto the floor on the left. We want to anchor the left side of the body. So left thigh, press it down, left belly, press it down, left hip, press it down, and start to move your right leg straight towards the floor on the right side. Good. So even if you're using your strap and your leg seems remote, same thing. Keep your right toes dorsiflexed. Good. And you discover where your limits are, what your body needs. Keep that anchor in the left side. Congratulations if you've managed to keep that really strongly down onto the floor, not rolling over with the weight of your right leg. Okay. And when you're done, you're going to bring that leg up. Good. Take the strap into your opposite hand, or hold the foot with your left hand this time. So left hand's holding the strap, and the leg continues across to the left side. We want to keep the right sacrum onto the floor and the left toes pointing straight up. So the right sacrum stays on the floor. See if you can lengthen your right waist a little. I use my right thumb into the right hip crease and press the hip down so that my hips are still really square to the edges of the mat. And I can feel the stretch in the back of the right hip. Good. Belly relaxed here. Chest relaxed. Good. Coming up to center. And hug that knee in. And then let that leg out. Take the strap off to the side of your mat. Let both legs roll out. Close your eyes. And feel the different sensation from leg to leg, hip to hip. Maybe your right leg feels longer. And it's a good incentive to do the other side. So press out through both legs again. So bring your legs together. Press out through the soles of the feet and hug your left leg in. And again, to get that nice close connection of your thigh and your belly, or your chest, let your belly be relaxed. Let your hip be relaxed. Let the thigh feel heavy. And we're trying to keep the left ankle, left knee, hip and shoulder in one plane. So just watch any tendency for the knee to go out to the side. Try to keep that nice alignment in your joints. Okay, so check how close you got your knee to your body. Might be here, in close to your chest. Try and keep it as close as you can, and keeping the bend in your knee, just bring the sole of the foot so that it's parallel to the ceiling. And remember, you can use your strap to put that around the sole of your foot. So your leg might be out here, because it's really important that you find your limit of movement, but keep your shoulders really relaxed. You can have straight arms, soft hands, soft face, soft throat. Good, but we're letting the thigh be heavy. Really stretching out through your right leg still. Great. So from there, we want to bring the leg to straight now. And it's fine if you have to let your strap out. Just go as far as you need to, so that you really can get your legs straight. And of course, if you can reach your foot, lucky you, you don't need to use your strap. But don't be ego driven in, I don't need to use my strap, and be really uncomfortable in your throat or your shoulders. You want them to be very relaxed and your leg at your full stretch, so you can feel the back of the leg starting to warm up. And in that warmth, see if there's a little room to stretch further. Try to keep your leg really straight. Be honest. Keep your belly really relaxed, your neck, your throat relaxed. Good. We're going to bring both sides of the strap into your left hand, or hold your foot with your left hand. So that left leg is going to go to the left, but we need to anchor the right side of the body before we do that. So press down the right thigh, press down the right hip, press the right belly. Breathe. Take the left leg straight as you can towards the floor on the left. Might not go all the way. Chest relaxed, face relaxed, throat relaxed. And you can feel the alignment in the rest of the body still really supporting ease in your body. So both sides of the spine long. Right toes dorsiflex, point straight up to the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to lift the leg. Use your belly to do that. And swap hands. So you swap the strap into the right hand, or hold onto your foot with your right hand. And the left leg goes across the body now to the right side. But we want to keep the belly very relaxed, the front of the left hip crease relaxed. Keep your right toes pointing up to the ceiling. And see if you can keep the left waist feeling long. You can use your left hand to help you reach the left hip down. Good. We keep those shoulder blades evenly onto the floor. Face relaxed, throat relaxed. Press out through the sole of the foot. Let the back of the leg really be warm and lengthen. Good. And then coming back up to center. Nicely done. You're going to let that leg just lay out. Let both legs just roll out. Whatever that natural shape is for you. Find your back centered. Take a few deep breaths into your belly. Noticing the sensation in your hips and your legs. And the deeper sensations in your body. Tuning into the wellspring of your body. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. When you're ready to come out of the posture, just gently wriggling your fingers and your toes, bending in your legs. And rolling to your right side. Finding your way up to a seated position. Just bring your hands onto your belly. Feel your spine is long, neck is relaxed. Feel the breath moving right down into the belly. It's wave-like motion. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.